15 minutes, starting now.
So that's a lot of pressure. I mean, you've got, you're already in sort of a difficult situation. So how do you want to kind of, what do you think the next steps are?
I know I've learned that with some of the people I work with, I have to change the way I speak to them, if that makes sense. Like, I'm a pretty straightforward person. I'm a pretty brutally honest person.
Okay.
Like, I like to think that I'm pretty consistent, that I treat everyone the same, but I can't do that at work. Like, I can't do that with my coworkers, my coworkers are fine. We're all pretty close, but like, I can't talk to my director the way that I used to. Like, I have to be very, very careful and choose my words wisely when it comes to her, because everything that you say to her is taken personally or out of context or just completely different than how you intended for it to come across. And I've discovered that that's no matter who she talks to. I don't know. But, like, so I don't go to her with certain things. Like, I'll talk to the assistant director about certain things because she's a lot easier to speak with about anything, really. And then, like, when things need to go to the director, like, I kind of take a day or so to kind of figure out how I want to say it before I do. And then, like, when it comes to minor stuff, I leave it alone. Like, there's no point in starting that fight over it.
And is that okay with you?
It's annoying sometimes, but...
Why? What's annoying about it?
I don't know. I've always been that person who's, like, spoken up and been vocal, especially because none of the other staff are. They just kind of let stuff happen, but now I know why they kind of just let stuff happen, because...
Could some of it be reframed that that's a good thing? That sometimes that's just sort of a business, a work maturity that, hey, I'm going to pick my battles and,
No, I'm not saying that I didn't used to pick my battles. It's just, like, when they ask for opinions on things, like, do you guys think we should do this, or do you guys think we should do that? Like, when it comes to picking kids, like, which kid do you think would be better suited for the unit?
Okay.
I was always the only person who was ever like, hey, like, this kid would definitely be better suited because this is the type of kid we have on unit now, and they would get more out of it because of this, that, and the third. Nobody ever said anything. I understand now, because saying it is pointless, because they
just do
don't.
Okay.
They don't care. Like, it's just, I feel like I'm pretty much just talking to myself all the time. And then, like, when it comes to them, like, they bounce ideas off of us for policies and stuff. Like, I was always the one saying, like, this policy would be a good idea, or this, that, and the third, and it's just, like, they would take part of what I said and then, like, just turn it into something completely different. So it's just, I've kind of just decided that sitting back and just watching things happen is probably the better thing to do. And
so in some cases they, the term is probably that you've become sort of disengaged. That, and are you okay with that?
Yeah, like, it's a lot less stressful and a lot less annoying to just kind of let them do what they're going to do anyway, instead of, like, getting frustrated at the fact that they're asking for our opinions, we're giving them, and they're doing nothing with them. Like, it's just, we've all kind of just accepted the fact that they don't care about staff opinions, and that pretending like they do is getting them nowhere, so let's just not give them anymore.
Okay, so are you okay? How do you feel about that?
I mean, it's frustrating. It's really annoying. I used to, like, I was one of those people that used to, like, get excited about going to work. Like, going to work was, like, a nice break from home life. Because, like, I'm 25 and I still live at home, and all my siblings are just really annoying. I'm the third born of 7. So, like,
Yeah.
it was a nice break to go to work and, like, deal with that and not have to deal with, like, home. But, like, now it's like I sit in my car and I'm just like, all right, like, you gotta change your mindset before you go in there, otherwise it's gonna be a really bad day. So, like, I mean, I'm still my usual, like, bounty, bubbly self. Like, I still have, like, a good time with the kids to kind of take their mind off of, like, the things that they're dealing with and the fact that they're at a CVAT unit and Like, I still have great relationships with my coworkers and the clinicians in the back office. It's just my relationship with my director has like completely changed. Like, I can't, I don't trust her, so I can't talk to her. I won't talk to her unless I absolutely have to about certain things. Like, it's very distant as compared to my relationships with everybody else on unit.
So can you just kind of accept that and let it be, or?
Yeah, it's just I don't really think that that's my problem. I think my problem is that I feel like I'm always like watching my back around her because I don't want to be the next person that's getting written up for nothing. Like, I pride myself on my great work ethic and like being a good employee, and I don't want, I guess, her pettiness to sabotage that and I get written up for something stupid. Like, it's pretty much just been a power struggle recently where they're pulling everybody into the office for dumb things, and I don't want to be the next person to get pulled in.
And I mean, is that kind of a fair? I mean, that seems like that's a fair way to feel. If you've got people randomly being written up for, as you said, dumb things, and that's kind of a, you know, there's they call it it's fight or flight.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's that, you know, that's an innate feeling in us as humans. You know, that's just part of evolution. It's you know, so you're going to, you know, you're being, you know, so that's a normal, you know, way to feel, to be more cautious as soon as you lose that trust in your manager. And, you know, you said not feeling like someone has your back, that, you know, that's a pretty normal feeling.
Yeah.
You know, do you think at all there's a way to salvage the relationship, or is?
I don't think so. Like, she's had, like, I've literally had children on my unit tell me, oh, well, the director told us to tell her this if you guys are doing this. Like, she has the kids spying on us. Like, it's just, and if it was a single kid telling me it, I would brush it off and be like, all right, you're lying. If it was 2 kids, I'd still think they were, 3 even, I'd probably still think they're lying. But where it has literally been, we've been keeping count. It's been 7 kids who, not even in the same group, because we switch them out every couple days because they all come at different times. Like, 7 kids have at one point or another told us, like, oh, well, the director told us to tell her if you guys are doing this stuff. Like, I feel like I'm being watched. There's no way of salvaging that relationship.
So do you think it's just you, or she's like that with all of the...
No, it's with everybody.
Okay.
Yeah, like, specifically the kids are saying, oh, well, she wants us to tell her when staff are doing this.
Okay.
And then, like, one of my coworkers, when another lead was pulled into the office, she was like, oh, so, like, she just asked me, like, why I didn't stop the staff from being on their phones in the kitchen the other day. And I really don't understand because it was at, like, 8 o'clock and she wasn't there. So, like, it's really hard to have a work relationship with somebody who is pretty much exploiting the children on the unit to be her own personal spies. Like, I have no respect for her, and I think that's part of the problem too.
Do you think she probably knows that?
No. I think, like, I don't like to be fake. I think that being fake is very disrespectful, to be honest. But it's work. And if I have to put a smile on my face and pretend your jokes are funny, I'll do it. Like, because at the end of the day, like, I'm not here to have a good relationship with you. I'm here to do my job. And as long as I'm respectful in the way that I talk to you and express my concerns, then there shouldn't be an issue.
Well, and, you know, and I mean, I think that you know, can reward yourself, or, I mean, that's a pretty mature way, you know, at the age of 25, because some people could have just said F it and I'm out of here. That you're saying, I'm gonna try to, you know, I've sort of weighed the pros and cons of things. I like the agency, you know, and perhaps, you know, and I think continuing to look to see if there's another place to move to. How, you know, it's a pretty big agency, right? That
they have a bunch of locations.
That I can't imagine. So, you know, something won't come open. There's turnover in all social services. It's you know, that and you said you enjoy working with children. So and that's your intention when you graduate too, to Or
Well, the thing that I really like about my internship is that I get to explore, like, I get to work with kids in a clinical setting, but I also get to work with adults and families.
Okay.
So, like, I think doing this internship is going to help me get a better understanding of, like, who the group that I'd really like to work with.
so that's great then.
Yeah, because I've only really worked with children
Okay.
in various different settings, like schools and preschools and stuff like that. I worked with adults briefly when I worked at the hospital, but I think I'd like to get some clinical experience before I decide, like, ultimately, because kids are kind of, I think, my comfort zone, and I
Okay.
think throwing myself outside of that for a bit would be definitely helpful to my career.
And that's what you're gonna do on your internship.
Mhm. Yeah.
And so, and then once you complete the classes that you're in now, which will the fall schedule be as stressful?
No,
Um,
I have one actual class, and then it's just all internship. Like, I'm taking 2 internship classes, and then I have a career development class that I'm taking just in case I want to move to Connecticut, which I've considered before. So I figured, why not, just in case that's something I decide in the future.
So your course load will be less.
Just a
in-
single actual class of work, and then my internship's
Sure.
pretty much my second job, and then, like, supervision.
And so, will you get paid on your internship or
No.
no? Okay, so that
No.
so that'll help you with the and you said where you work now has some flexibility in the hours that you work and things.
Yeah, luckily for me, the assistant director handles the scheduling and all of that.
Yeah.
So, like, I've discussed it with her, and I want to keep my my 40 hours, and I don't want to drop down to 32.
Okay.
So she's allowing me to do a double a week at that job, so that I have 3 days off from them, and then 2 of those days off will be dedicated to my internship, and then I'll have 1 day off from both.
Okay. And so kind of have you sort of mapped, so you'll end up working 40 hours in
Mhm.
4 days, is
Mhm.
that? Okay, and then you're gonna work 2 8-hour shifts?
I haven't decided how exactly I'm gonna do it, because they also said that I could do a day at one of the schools, working alongside the counselor there, which would mean that I would technically be doing a double on another day, which would be, like, my hours at the school and then my hours at my actual job. I haven't, like, fully. I'm waiting to speak with my internship supervisor to figure out exactly, like, what my options are, because there's, like, clinic hours on Saturday that I could potentially do there too. So I don't know exactly how I do it. I just.
And so when you sort of back in, so I guess I'm just afraid I don't want to take one stressor and add another, because you were pretty committed when we talked earlier that you're very committed to graduating in May.
Mhm.
And so when you kind of look at the number of hours
It's
that you're
24
gonna have
hours
to,
a week, I calculated.
okay, so
between
you'd have to
now and
work
next year.
24 hours a week.
Yeah, so 64 hours total, including my job, which isn't
So you'd have to work 24 hours a week for
my
26
internship
to get the 600 hours.
to get my hours by the end of June.
Okay.
Yeah, like,
So-
that would be the minimum was 24 hours a week, or 22 hours a week, or something like that. And I have it written in my notebook somewhere.
Okay.
I think.
So
my professor
so
wrote it
say
down.
so okay so I'm trying to think, so I can't do the math. 600 divided by 30. Alexa, turn off the timer. I guess, is that the third?
I think so.